Are you trying to jump into real estate, but you have no credit? Are you trying to jump into real estate and have no money? You don't have the 20% that the banks are asking for? Are you a wholesaler ready for the next level, ready to find some creative financing so that you can start obtaining these properties, these real estate properties? Well, I have a zero down strategy, no banks needed, no credit needed, that I want to share with you. I'm your girl, Rena MoMoney, and today we're going to talk about how to buy real estate with subject to the existing loan. So come on in. I hope you have your pen and a pad because today's video is going to be jam-packed, step-by-step guide for beginners or wholesalers that are ready to jump and go to the next level and start buying some of this real estate. You can buy the property subject to, which means you're taking over the payment. I'm going to show you how. You ask, what is subject to? When do I use subject to? How do I create this subject to? Subject to is a creative financing where you take over the mortgage. You take over the mortgage payments, not the loan. You do not assume the loan. You're taking over the mortgage payment. The deed becomes yours. The existing loan stays in place with the homeowner. So you're in control of the property, subject to the existing loan. This is the secret. This is one of the secrets of the industry that you definitely want to make sure that you're ready for. Step one, you want to get the telephone ringing. So you need to start targeting potential sellers and targeting certain type of leads. The first type of lead that you want to target is absentee owners with mortgages. So if you find a house, as you scroll through the MLS, or you have your realtor friend scroll through the MLS for you, or if you scroll through Zillow, some of those free sites, and you see that that house have been on the market too long, that's a great subject to deal. It's not selling. So you want to target that homeowner whose home have been on the market too long. You also want to target expired listings. They're living in their primary home, but they have another property, and if it's vacant, that's really one of the better ones because they're spending money on cutting the yard. They have expenses on that home, and they are quick. That means they're motivated. They are ready. Remember, these are the folk that will be motivated, potential sellers that will be motivated. If you target these, you have a better chance at a good quick deal and a subject to, because subject to is kind of special. It's kind of special. It's special because you're asking the homeowner, the seller, to leave the mortgage in their name, even though you're going to take control of it and own it and buy it subject to, but that mortgage stays in their name. A lot of times you come to the rescue to help because they are not selling their property or they're having this situation. Here's the situations come up again. I tell you about these issues. I told you about these issues that will make for creative financing. And this, my dear, is one. You have a list. You have properties that meet that criteria, or you have homeowners that meet that criteria. So second step is to skip trace them. If you look through the channel, I have a previous video in reference to skip tracing where you can skip trace free, and also some cheap sites that you can do some skip tracing. After you skip trace and you have your telephone number, you may also get an email, depends on which skip trace source you use. Look down in the description below. I have a link where you can use a company to do some skip tracing. And we have several resources down in the description below. So take time out, look down in the description for skip tracing. You want to cold call. You want to cold call, and you also want to send out email blasts. You also want to send out a text blast. Look down in the description, in my description below, and you'll see some resources on getting the skip tracing done and also the text blasting. Third step is, once you skip trace, once you've reached them and they are ready to do something, it's time to talk to them, set an appointment. Do as much as you can over the telephone, but you also want to set an appointment to communicate well with that potential seller. You don't want to scare the seller off. You don't want the seller to feel like they need to get a lawyer involved. You want them to feel comfortable. And if you look back on some of my other videos, I kind of go over a little bit some of the things you need to say to your seller. Once you've done that, then you're on to the next step. So in doing subject to, you definitely want to be completely honest and very transparent. When you get ready to meet with the seller, you want to have all your paperwork. That's the next step. Make sure that you have all your paperwork. There's about 6 necessary documents that you will need to complete a subject to successfully. And if you look down in the description, if I don't have it in this week, I'll have it next week, or I have it on the next video. In the description, I'll have a link where you can get all of the documents to make sure that you have everything that's needed to conduct a proper subject to deal. The necessary paperwork is the power of attorney. You want to have a power of attorney. You want to also have all the disclosures, the due on sale acknowledgement, taxes acknowledgement. You want to have all of your acknowledgments and all of your disclosures to cover your ASS. Okay, you want to have that. You'll start out with your purchase and sale contract. On the purchase and sale contract, there's a certain line that you will put subject to the existing loan. You also need an authorization of release. You also need to ask the homeowner for their last mortgage statement, not a statement that's 3, 4, 5 months ago. You want the very last mortgage statement, the most current mortgage statement. The reason you want that is because on that statement, you'll see exactly when was the last payment. You'll know if they're behind. You'll know if they're about to go into foreclosure, because a seller will tell you, oh no, we're up, when they're 2, 3 months behind. You'll get a lot of information about that loan. Plus, you actually need the loan number. You'll also need the insurance policy, but we'll get into that a little later. Before I go into the next step, I want to ask, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. If I'm giving you something to think about, if I'm giving you something that's helping you to make more money or to save money, or if I'm giving you a tip or tool on how to do something that you didn't have to pay all this money to figure out, if I'm giving you this and it is valuable to you, it's going to change your mind, it's going to get you started on the next level of trying to do this real estate investing. If I'm doing anything of that nature, please subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and subscribe. Click on the little belly thing so that you won't miss all the good stuff I got for you. I post 2 to 3 times a week on real estate, investing, finances, stocks, wholesaling, things that's going to help you save money, tips and tools that's going to help you make money, and just helping you to become an overall better you. So comment below if you are getting a little stumped and thinking that you can't get into this real estate because all of the money that's needed. Comment below if I've enlightened you and gave you another tool to use so that you can conquer this real estate and crush it. So always make sure that you stay to the end. Also too, I like to give shout outs. I love my shout outs because I love the new subscribers. I appreciate everyone that comments, like, and of course subscribe. Speaking of shout outs, speaking of subscribers, I have some new subscribers that I want to give a shout out to. I want to give a shout out to Sal P, a shout out to Omar J, or I am Naama. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do. Also, I want to give a shout out to Shan. So whoop, 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 a shout out. Great job. Congratulations on taking the steps to become a better you. Again, I randomly select new subscribers to give a shout out to or give a mention to on the Rena MoMoney Plus videos. It will be either the next video or the video of that week. So again, thank you. Continue to educate yourself by clicking on the Rena MoMoney Plus videos and helping yourself become a better you. Also, if you get a little stumped or you need that extra help or that extra push or you need that one-on-one session, feel free to schedule a coaching call with me and to receive that extra help. You want to look down in the description below. You'll see a link, Calendly.com/Rena MoMoney, where you can schedule a coaching call so that you won't make a mistake or you won't lose the next opportunity. Again, you want to perfect your craft, always looking to learn, always looking for opportunities. That being said, look down in the description below. I have some resources where you can get WeBull stocks. You can start on the stocks if you haven't already, and a lot of other great resources. So look in the description below. Okay, getting back to the steps to take over payments. Subject 2. We left off with be sure to have the correct paperwork, the necessary paperwork to complete a subject 2 deal properly. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you're working with a title company that understands subject 2. You want to work with the investor-friendly title company. If the title company is investor-friendly or the lawyer that you use is investor-friendly, then they understand subject 2. You also want to make sure that the insurance company that you're going to be using or that you use currently, I'm not sure, it depends on if you're already into it or not. You want to make sure that the insurance company also understands subject 2 so they know exactly what you're trying to do. So you're contacting the title company and you're also going to contact the insurance company. You do not need to contact the lender. You do not need to contact the lender where the mortgage is, where the existing loan is. You do, however, want to send over the authorization of release over to that mortgage company because you may one day have to make a phone call in reference to your property, because remember, you're taking over and you're in control if that's your property once you close. So you do want to have that authorization of release, and that's what that particular document is for, so that you can contact and reach the mortgage company if you need to. You do not need to contact them to tell them that you're going to be taking over the mortgage payments, you're going to be assuming the loan. That's a no-no. Don't do that. Don't do that, because there's something called due on sale. That's a clause that a lot of mortgage companies have in their mortgage documents. You don't need to see the mortgage document from the seller because it's hardly ever done. To be honest with you, the mortgage company does not care who's paying. They just want it paid. You don't want any errors and you don't want any mistakes. So don't call the mortgage company and lender company and tell them your plan. Don't tell them. And first of all, you're not assuming the loan. The loan is going to stay in the homeowner's name. You're just taking over the payments. On the insurance end, you want to get another policy, a complete different policy. Don't call the existing insurance because you don't want to be, no problems. You want this to be easy peasy. So you get an additional policy. Once you have all the proper documents and the proper documents signed and everything you need from the homeowner, you take the purchase and sales agreement over to the title company, or you email it. You send it to the title company and you also send them a POA, the power of attorney. You're not going to sign it, nor will the seller sign it. They will sign at closing because you want that notarized. The power of attorney will be notarized. It's a limited power of attorney. If you need extra help, if you need some straight guidance and saying, okay, I want your documents, I'm going to have the documents in the description. So you take a look at that so you can have the proper stuff to use, the proper documents, the necessary paperwork. Once you take that to the title company, of course, will do their due diligence. They'll do everything they need to do. They know exactly what to do to close, the search that's needed and all that good stuff to make sure the title's clear. And after you close, you start making payments. Remember, you are responsible for the payments. So be consistent, make payments on time, and make sure that you have an exit strategy. Each property, you should have an exit strategy. Sometimes it will be different. So if it's a pretty, fairly nice house, you may want to rent to own or do a lease option or flip it. Fix it up, get it ready to sell. If it's an average home or a mediocre home, your exit strategy may be to keep it as a hold, to rent it out. So have an exit strategy. Remember, you're always trying to create passive income. You're always trying to create wealth. So rentals is a good way, a good method to create that wealth and to create that passive income. So don't feel bad about a property that you got to hold on to. The good thing was you didn't have to put 20% down, or 30% for that matter. You don't have to have credit. You don't have to have money up front. This is a tool, this is a strategy that is great. And it's great and it's good to use in a seller's market. It's good to use in a buyer's market. It's good to use in a low market. It's good to use in a high market. Subject to financing is a secret of the industry that real estate investors have been using for years. It is very legal. It is very easy. As long as it's done properly, you can do it. You should be able to close on this, make money, make profit, and then move on to the next one. Do another subject to deal. Get ready for another rental or another fix and flip. So again, the strategy of taking over payments is huge. It is big. You can leverage your money. And that's one of the things you want to do as an investor. We were always taught to use other people's money, use other people's money. That's true in certain cases, but there's levels to everything. And one of the things you want to do is always leverage your money, regardless of where you are in your real estate. If I've said anything to help you in any form, all I ask is that you subscribe if you haven't already. Please go ahead and subscribe because I randomly mention subscribers on the next Rena MoMoney Plus video.